Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, salam, sat sri akal, iwam, and greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of the world. Welcome to the show once again. We have gathered here on the eve of, on the Women in Management Global Economic Forum function in Sri Lanka 2023, and I have a very special guest in the studio with me, whom more than introduction is a personality, has done diverse roles, holds very important office. I would call him Rajan, a very accomplished person. So sorry for taking the liberty, Rajan.
No, it's perfect.
But welcome to the studio, and we will spend the next 30 minutes going over Rajan's journey, his leadership style, the inspiration, and some of the decisions he makes on a day-to-day basis that affects people cross country, across borders, and regions as well. So welcome, Rajan, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, and indeed I must thank Women in Management for giving me this opportunity to come all the way from India to Colombo, Sri Lanka, and thank you for hosting me.
Rajan, your journey so far, we know you hold a very important office in the Economic Affairs Division of United Nations. What has been your journey so far?
Well, my journey has been mixed, challenging and exciting, I would say. I honestly never thought that I will reach here where I am today.
Wow.
But perhaps the karma and God and the blessings brought me here. I wanted to become a scientist, and then I landed into Indian bureaucracy. And I worked in government for 25 years in Government of India, looking into India's foreign trade policy, trade negotiations for 25 years into that. And then it was in 2012 that I got into the United Nations system, and I started my career in United Nations in Bangkok, which is a UNSCAP head office, working in a trade and investment division at that moment of time. And there again, that was an area which I specialized working in Government of India. So that was to help many of the Asian Pacific governments in formulating their trade policy, international trade policy, negotiating skills, how they can do effectively for the benefit of their country. And then in 2018, I came to Delhi.
Okay.
And then this Delhi office is looking into Southwest Asia. And that is where the excitement, fun, challenge is there. Because we have countries like Turkey, we have Iran, we have Afghanistan, we have Pakistan, we have India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and Maldives.
Wow.
And all kind of challenges, all kind of fun, all kind of conflict, all kind of developmental work which you can do, all kind of changes which you can bring, is all there within these 10 countries. So this has been really, really challenging and exciting, because when you are challenged, I feel you get more energized, and when you see something happening which is positive, you get encouraged, and that drives you again. So that is all my journey is.
Brilliant. Dr. Rajan Sudesh Ratna talks about building a new world, and I was doing some research on him, and he says, let's build a new world. So I want to understand from you, and the listeners and the viewers want to understand from you, what is the new world?
As I was saying, in South and Southwest Asia, when we look into, there are a lot of challenges. Challenges relating to poverty, challenges relating to inequality, challenges relating to hunger. The half of the world poor live in this region.
My goodness.
The women workforce, the labor participation in any of these sector, we are the least. If you see about a climate change, which is one of the components of Sustainable Development Goal 13, while we are going in a negative direction.
Oh my goodness.
So when you talk about it's talking about kind of trying to my level, and thanks God that even gives me that platform where you can work on multifarious issues. Being even small changes, seeing happiness on the faces of people can be so rewarding that the money, the post, the power doesn't bring it.
Wow.
That is what I think I would like to bring the change.
Beautiful. This is so inspiring. So I really hope you're able to. We are all able to usher in this new world, because you spoke of some very sensitive things that in our day-to-day life, to do better than the other person and gain more money and get more publicity. We have left these good things behind. So more power to you, and I hope we really, people like you and all of us, contribute to building a new world.
I mean, if I see power, I don't see post or designation or something as a power. I see people's love as the biggest power or strength to me. My family's support, my elderly's blessings, and all those people with whom I work, my team, who blindly support me for anything which I want to do. That is what is my power.
Beautiful. Doctor, your impactful work on women in business or women empowerment, I want you to elaborate a little bit and tell the listeners and viewers the work you've done.
Actually, this is a project which we did as UNESCAP in partnership with Enhanced Integrated Framework, which is a part of a WTO in Geneva.
Okay.
And as I was saying, that one of the things which in South Asia is lacking is gender equality. And so it covers many segments, but we thought, and slightly biasness because of my economic background, we felt that if we do something for economic empowerment of a women, that would also bring a lot of changes, because many of the problems in the society is the mindset.
Correct.
And unless women has that financial power to take a decision, that mindset will not change. So what we try to do in this, and when we did a preliminary study, we found that many of the women entrepreneurs, and especially from micro, small and medium enterprises, they have a lot of fire within them, but they do not have the opportunity. They do not know the knowledge or the tools, how they can use it in expanding their business.
Okay.
And so we thought that if we can build their skill, impart the knowledge, so that they can expand their business by sitting in a remote area. And to be very honest, this project is not for, I mean, it has a few women entrepreneurs who are coming from cities, but it targeted to the rural women, the women who are in the house, who are mother, who is wife, but still wants to do business.
Okay.
And e-commerce has that potential. Digital marketing has that potential. So when we did an initial study, we found that these potentials are untapped, and this provides these women an opportunity to expand their business, to do their business. And so this, the work which we took was to how these women can be equipped by sitting at their home or sitting in any area. Can they expand their business? Can they connect? And so we started this training program. We developed so many knowledge products as well, which are there on our website. But the good part was that we started doing a regional training and bringing the women from different countries of Southwest Asia at one platform. We gave them an opportunity to speak about themselves, and these women coming from varied background, you could see their shyness, their reluctance, their lack of confidence to speak about themselves. Slowly, when they saw others, they were encouraged. They learned in that process. And we also allowed, like you have a display here, so some of the display we did, and they were able to display, showcase their product, all the products they sold to. And a new, it was a learning experience for us, because when we see women as an entrepreneur, we see them only as an entrepreneur, where we don't see them as a customer. But when we did this regional, we created a new value chain or a supply chain.
Awesome.
Because these women then started trading among themselves, and even during training program, we got a statistics data. During training program on our platform, they created a business of around $160,000 US. We did it in 2 years, yeah. But during training, they generated that much business. So we don't know how would have generated beyond that. We do not have those statistics. But they are very active in the Facebook. We created a Facebook group.
Lovely.
We created Instagram group. We created LinkedIn group, but LinkedIn not for business. LinkedIn is for other one.
Right.
But Facebook and WhatsApp. So we have several WhatsApp groups, and they are exchanging. They are doing their trading. They are advertising. You get immense satisfaction in seeing how they are doing.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, Rajan, two related questions. One, how was it the first day they walked into that conference room or the office? How was it, and what did you see in their faces?
See, we got an overwhelming response of women who wanted to be trained.
Wow.
Actually, we did train only 3,000 women.
Okay.
And we got at least more than 10,000 requests coming to us.
Oh my God.
But we need to be slightly selective in doing that. So we applied certain parameters. Women who were doing very well, we didn't include in.
Good.
The women who were coming from a rural background, who were doing a very micro business, we tried to promote them, brought them. But yeah, we needed a minimum digital skill of those women.
Yeah, okay. That's
because when you are trying to build them in, right? So they need to have email, they need to have, many of them didn't have Facebook account even, but we created an hands-on where we sat with them, created their Facebook, uploaded their product, we created their product brochure and other things, the profile, etc., content writing. That was part of the training which we did. But the good part was that the confidence which was instilled in them, that they can do the business. And many, around 40% of the women came and told that this is my first travel abroad. Or some of them said it's the first travel out of their state, and that too alone. Because when many of the trainings we did was online also, but there were 6 or 7 trainings which we did, regional training, which was advanced training, where we did it in person. And there are many of these women, and from all these places like Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, even Afghanistan, Iran, these women came, and Turkey, and they came and participated in our workshops. And some of them said that we have come out for the first time, and alone first time I am traveling, sir.
How beautiful.
So, God's grace.
Absolutely. What can I say? A related question to you, Rajan. Your philosophy on inclusion, and you live it every day. Please share with us. And I always feel one of the primary or one of the prerequisites for a leader is really this quality of inclusion, and you've spoken about it. Tell us about it.
I mean, see, in terms of, if you see inclusiveness, it needs to basically mean that everybody should benefit, right? Or everybody should be heard, or in the context what we are looking at. I come from India, where we had a motto of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is, one family. Somebody is well off, somebody is not well off.
Correct.
And inclusiveness to our work, on especially when we are talking about this women entrepreneurship or a UN work, even one of the objectives of the sustainable development is leave no one behind. Means if you have left somebody behind, then you are not inclusive, right?
Absolutely.
And who do you need to do the hand-holding? Do you need to do a hand-holding of a person who is doing very well, or somebody who is lagging behind? Now, unless somebody who is lagging behind, and whether that person is poor, tech unsavvy, lack of knowledge, lack of skill, old, disabled, youth, women, it could be anybody. So, when we organized, and this was a very segmented, I would say, not very inclusive, because it was women, right? But within the women, we got some, I shouldn't say, but we filtered and we brought some of the disabled ladies to come and participate.
How beautiful.
We got college students to our.
Oh, okay.
And there are a lot of startups which have come.
Okay.
So, when we look into that, even when we look into within the women, there is a lot segment which is left out, which you need to bring it in. So, that is one way of looking at inclusiveness.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. And and the reason I'm also a little more excited about this whole thing is because you seem to have a very spiritual bent of mind. And inclusion is something that we all like to do, but we don't make that extra effort or consciousness to actually, make sure it happens. And we talk of gender equality and all of that. But I think one of the words in the DEI is really inclusion, which people miss out. Right? They talk about diversity and they don't talk about inclusion. So thank you very much. For the viewers, an interesting trivia. I was talking to Rajan this morning over coffee, and we were having an interesting conversation. Sulochana was there as well, and as we got talking, I happened to notice, apart from the lovely suit he's wearing, he was wearing a very very attractive lapel pin, and I told him, "Oh, that looks great." And guess what he did? Spontaneously, Rajan took it off and put it on my suit. So what you see here is actually borrowed or gifted to me, so I'm not going to give it back to him.
No, I don't want it.
Gifted to me this morning. And my next question, Rajan, to you is on sustainability. A lot has been written about, a lot has been spoken about sustainability. I want to know from you two things, Rajan. You are in there doing it. Is it still just a farce? And it's a very strong word I'm using. Or are our companies doing enough? And the final part of the question is, what should we be doing as a government, as an organization, even as individuals, to ensure this goes the extra mile?
Thank you. One of all, taking it from the previous example of inclusiveness, I had a badge you didn't have. That's one definition.
Thank you.
I didn't want you to be left behind on getting the SDG win.
Very well said.
Because that will remind you always of the overall objective of Sustainable Development Goal. Coming to this component, it is very important, but I would be very honest. The goals we are not going to meet by 2030, that is a fact. There are several reasons attributed to it. One is also COVID, that brought a lot of setback to the countries. And so the social dimensions, economic dimensions of many of the countries have been lagging behind. People have been talking about accelerating, but it's a crisis situation because we started 2015, we are already in the middle of the time, 8 years passed, we are left with only another 7 years time. And those ambitious targets which we have fixed, I am not really, I would be really happy to be proved wrong, to be very honest. The second component is South Asia hosts 1/3 to 1/4 of the world population.
Correct.
Right? But more than half of the poverty. Now, unless South Asia meets the Sustainable Development Goal, just because of its population size, the world will not be able to meet the. So this recognition to the world is very important. And the other issue is, many people think, and thanks that you ask me and I have this platform to echo what I always say. Sustainable Development Goal is not the responsibility of a government. It's not the responsibility of UN. It is the responsibility of every individual. Why do you expect from your government to meet the climatic conditions when you are yourself polluting? Whether you are a businessman or you are an individual.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Why do you want the government to meet the gender equality when in your own house you are misbehaving with your wife and a child?
Wow. Great point.
So it's all inclusiveness, and the private sector also has a very, very important role to play. Corporate social responsibility, some countries like India is now providing certain incentives that a component of that need to go into CSR in order to waive off or tax the taxes, etc. These are the things which are required, because it's not only the responsibility of a government. It's responsibility of every agency, every individual. I think even the civil society organizations, self-help groups could also contribute a lot, not by talking but by doing. And many of the civil society or NGOs, they have been working on ground, right?
Correct.
They are, many of the UN organizations are working at the ground, UNICEF, UNDP, etc. And they are bringing these changes. That's what I'm saying. Small changes will only make big changes. If you think a Big Bang Theory in meeting SDG, it is not going to happen.
Okay. Got it. And so what you've made a couple of impactful statements that are very, very important for, so each of us have to take responsibility, and I think sustainability is just one part. I think every part of life, it's like India ran a campaign about keeping India clean, and everybody thought it is a government's duty to keep India clean. No, it is not. If I throw that chocolate wrapper on the street, I am not contributing to the Clean India campaign. Right. It's not about necessarily only taking the broom and sweeping the streets. It's also about instilling in ourselves a sense of discipline that this is my country, and whichever country we are a part of, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Turkey, this is my country, this is my home, I need to keep it clean. And the same goes with sustainability. So you're right. Our organizations, and how do you help organizations, or how does United Nations ESCAP division help organizations who want to do good on sustainability genuinely, but let's say are facing funding or investment issues? Are you doing something on that?
Basically, see, the UN as an agency is not a donor agency.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But what we do is, in fact, we also are struggling with the budget, with the COVID and other constraints of the government. The government contributes. But I'm not complaining. I'm just being realistic. Everybody is facing that constraint. But as a UN, what we try to do is, one is we have already created a multi-stakeholder platform where we bring private sector, where we bring these think tanks, where we bring civil society organization, where we bring stalwarts of the society in a particular theme on an area, we bring the government.
Okay.
And we also bring all the governments of South Asia.
Oh,
so while in SAARC,
very nice,
the meeting is not happening.
Correct.
On our platform, even only last week, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka were sitting and talking.
Oh, beautiful.
Right?
Beautiful.
So that is what value we bring in. The second thing which we have attempted is we have created a Southwest Asian network on SDGs. And this network is to have a depository of good practices on SDG at a local level.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
And we have created the database, we disseminate this database, and through these exchanges, what we try is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So somebody who wants to do it, if already some good practices are there, you tinker it a little bit depending on your country conditions or localized conditions, and you go ahead with it because this is proven. We also connect them, and the other thing which we do is on certain work program which we have, because even UN is quite of a compartmentalized government kind of intergovernmental agency. So we cannot just go left, right, center, right? Sure. So we have, but within those, we try to do partnership with agencies. We try to fund certain components of the work. We try to bring them into our work program, and we try to do joint work with them. If certain agency which is working on area which we feel we need to work, we partner with them and help them to go to the donor, get the funding and work. And sometimes with the UN tag, it is easy for them to get. So these kind of help only we can do within these limitations, but we try our effort. And we also sit with them, develop the concepts, provide the input, this is good, this is bad. And so like that, starting from the conceptualization stage till the implementation, we become their partner.
Rajan, you are part of a very prestigious global organization, and you head a very important division. I'm sure, and just in case people believe it's a bed of roses, it is not for Rajan. When you face challenges, Rajan, how do you overcome them, or is there a rule book, or do you recollect any recent incident of a challenge, and you don't have to tell us which one, and how did you overcome that, if you can?
See, challenges are part of life, and it depends how you see them, right? If I am coming from my home to office, and in Delhi traffic is notorious, that itself may be a challenge, So by the time I reach my office, my blood pressure has gone up by 20 points, nothing that you can do, right? And I won't say I have one simple set of solution to the challenges, right? It depends on, sometimes certain challenges brings frustration in me.
Right.
So for that spur moment of time, I am demoralized, I am frustrated, I am angry.
Correct.
Many a times I try to absorb it in me, take a pause. Sometimes it outbursts.
Sure.
And sometimes it comes out to a person who may not be perhaps related to that, but I am a human, I accept that. Other thing is, which I have felt, that when I face a challenge, and every time I face these, right, the good part I see is it forces you to rethink, reanalyze. So what I do is I go back to my drawing board or a plan board and look at that. What are my alternatives? What I need to do? Why did I face this challenge? Many a times I find the solution.
Okay.
But sometimes I don't.
Correct.
Because it's a mindset challenge.
Correct.
So whatever systemic way you want to do it, you will not be able to come out with that hurdle. So then I have to take a pause. Sometimes I have to withdraw. Sometimes I have to stop and then wait for an opportune moment to push it through. Many times, because UN works with governments.
Shit.
And many a times when we suggest certain things to the government, we find there is a reluctance coming in accepting that, despite the fact that initially it was that government which wanted our technical assistance. Then you put 6 months' time in preparing his study, doing analysis, going to them, training them. And after 3 months, when you go back to them, okay, what have you done? Oh, nothing. So, but nothing you can do, right? So, many a times you have to play like a parent to a child, cajole them, encourage them. Oh, no, you can do it, don't worry, you should not have a doubt in yourself, this is very evidently done, we will continue to support you. If you have done the training, if you have done this study, it doesn't end there, we will walk with you till the last path. And definitely, many a times it has been that these officers, since we have been working with them for years, they will confide that either the enabling environment is not there, they try to push it in. So you need to wait, and so it varies from time to time. Sometimes even the rules, including UN rules, can become a challenge to you.
Absolutely.
Well, you have to find a way out.
Okay, awesome. You are inspiration, Rajan.
No, I am not. I am just a follower. I just follow.
Who or what would you say has inspired you in life? Somebody you look up to, or
my parents, but
nice.
It's a slightly long story, but I can tell you short.
Please.
Still, I get
Goose pimples.
In me. I remember when in my childhood, when I was in my school. Sorry if my voice will go because I always get sentimental when and that is what keeps me going. One of my school teachers in my school with all the classmates asked, okay, you tell me what is your religion and what you want to become. And we were in class 5 or 6, you know. Somebody said doctor, engineer, IAS, this, that, Hindu, Christian and Muslim and all that, right? But with every reply he was, and it was not at the very beginning, it was after almost 7-8 months of his teaching, and he was teaching us not only his subject but many other things which I realized later.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I am totally disappointed with all of you. And we didn't know, child, what is he asking? He said, even one student would have said with all my teaching that you want to become a human.
Wow.
And humanity is your religion.
Wow.
I would have got my reward.
I would love to interview this teacher, speak to him.
He's no longer there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, we need people like this, and that's
But
so beautiful.
yeah, my aim is, I don't know. I may be a bad human, good human, I don't know. It's only that when I will be on my deathbed,
Have I been a good human?
how I perform to the expectation of my teacher.
Wow, this is heavy. Rajan, we you know, and this is heavy for me as well. So
I always get sentimental
agree with you,
when I talk about. I get tears in my eyes.
I agree with you. What a man.
But when I am very, very frustrated, this is what I remember.
It's a great wake up. It's actually a wake up call, right? I wish our bosses say this to us. I wish organizations say this to us every day. Great one. It's got a little heavy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my trademark rapid fire. And Rajan, we're going to shoot a few questions at you, and you can answer them in a word or a sentence or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Good to go. Okay. Economic affairs.
Prosperity to all.
Wow. Prosperity. Okay. New world.
Peace, love, prosperity.
Inclusion.
Leave no one behind.
Okay. Sustainability.
Development for all, prosperity for all.
Excellent goal. And Rajan is?
Is trying to be being a human.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, I speak to a lot of people, and I'm saying this because I'm looking for the right word. I speak to a lot of people, and there are some shows and there are a few individuals that I wouldn't say leave you speechless, that leave you thinking, and Rajan has been one of them. I've been very inspired by this brief conversation that we have had. I think the biggest message or the biggest takeaway for me is, can we try to be a little human in all of us? Can we be human? Maybe we should teach our kids that. Maybe we should tell the society that. Can we include as many people as we can? Can we take people along from a simple, non-impactful idea of the badge or the pin to getting more people? Can we do that? Can we look at women? Can we bring women, and I'm saying women specifically because we need to empower them, it's our responsibility. Can we empower women from the challenge sections of the society and bring them to the table where it matters, bring them to a platform that matters, and can we contribute to their well-being? Can we develop skills in individuals and women that can contribute to the upliftment of society? Can we stand up as leaders and say, I will do what it takes? For me, power is about bringing a smile to the person's face. If all of these are there and you, then you are probably Dr. Rajan. I don't have a lot of these qualities or some of these qualities, but Rajan, it has been a delight speaking to you. I don't know what to say and how to end this program, but if there is any message that you would like to give the youngsters or people who want to get into bureaucracy or want to get into organization like UN, what would you tell them?
No, I would only tell each one of us or everybody, if we can do little things in our lives that shows that we are a good human being, the life is worth.
Fantastic. And on that inspiring note, Rajan, I want to thank you very much for coming to the studios and having this show with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if the organizers, I don't care if they permit, I would like to hug you. I mean, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
yes, no worries.
Phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for coming, Rajan. Thank you.